The psalm reads, "O give thanks to the Lord, call on his name, make known his deeds among the peoples. Sing to him, sing praises to him, tell of all his wonderful works. Glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Seek the Lord in his strength. Seek his presence continually. Remember the wonderful works he has done, his miracles, and the judgments he has uttered. O offspring of his servant Abraham, children of Jacob, his chosen ones." This is the word of the Lord. The psalmist calls on us to give thanks to the Lord, to call on his name. This is a call to worship, a call to praise, and then a call to testimony. We are to make known his deeds among the peoples. We're to sing of his wonderful works. We're to glory in his holy name. As we begin to think in terms of Resurrection Sunday and the wonderful works that God, through the Christ and the Spirit, has effected in our hearts, how can we but worship and praise? How can we have anything but a grateful heart? And yet it's very difficult in our lives because of the heavy weight and the brokenness of the human condition that rests steadily on our shoulders. This life is often, maybe more often than not, a struggle, times of sorrow and loss, and dealing with those issues. In the midst of that, the psalmist encourages us to sing to the Lord, to praise him. As followers of Christ, we have the ability to see beyond the present human condition to the promise, which is what this psalm is really about. It's God's fulfilling his promise to the covenant people. So we can look beyond this moment of the human condition and see the promise of deliverance and the promise of new life. And that's our North Star. That is where we look, even in the midst of the sorrow and brokenness and hollowness that sometimes makes up this life because of sin and suffering, because of grief and death. The psalmist says, make known his deeds. That is, we testify, we tell what's happened to us, we tell our story. A couple of weeks ago we looked at, or last week I guess, we looked at John chapter 9, the man born blind, on Sunday morning. And it's one of my favorite passages. The religious leaders attacked the man who had been healed on the Sabbath. And they accuse him, or they speak to him in an accusatory tone. How were you healed? And he said that Jesus healed him. And they said, Jesus couldn't have healed you, he's a sinner. And the man bypasses their theological bromides and just simply says, I don't know what happened. He may be a sinner, I don't know. But one thing I know. I once was blind, and now I see. That's testimony. We share what's happened in our own lives and in our own experience. Notice something else. Seek the Lord in his strength. Seek his presence continually. That is, when we hit the wall and there are troubles, often we withdraw from the Lord. And the psalmist here is telling us that we, in our call to worship, that we're to seek him continually, no matter what the circumstances, no matter how difficult things become. And then right after that, remember the wonderful works he has done. The way that we make it through the hard places is that we look back and see how God has delivered us in the past. And I can tell you, in my darkest hour, when things were most difficult, the Almighty, through the presence of his Spirit, never left me, not one time. That's my testimony. So we who are the offspring of the work of the Christ, let us offer with our lives, with our mouths, with our hearts in sincerity, worship and praise to the God who is there, knowing that the present trouble that we now have is not to be compared to the glory that will follow when we are in His presence. God bless you.